Okay, guys, so you want to find out how much you are worth to the government. Let's find out. It's going to be a step-by-step instruction on how you can find out how much you are worth to the United States. I'll explain as we continue. You're going to go to Treasury Direct. You're going to click on Savings Bonds. You're going to go down to the Savings Bond Calculator. You're going to get here. You're going to go down to leave the date here as it is because it's the current date as of today, or what date you're searching. Now, there are EE bonds, I bonds, E bonds, and savings bonds. So we're going to search all of them. I did this one for my son, who is about to be 20. And as we go, you'll be able to see. Now, I did this right here because I want you to see that if you put a denomination in that they did not get a bond for or put in the money for when he was, before he was born, actually is when they did it, then you'll get an error up here. And it'll tell you to go to the next denomination. So right now we're doing EE bonds. We're doing my son's bond number. This bond number is not your social security number. Do not use the number on the front of your social security card. You're going to use the red number on the back of your social security card in the lower left right corner, lower right corner of the card. That is your bond number. So once you put in the correct denomination, as you can see here, his bond number, and then you have the what type of bond it is. It gives you all the information. They actually created these bonds, which he has 16 of them, and you'll see as we go, under the same number. So they did this the month and the year that he was born. It tells you his next accrual date is this month. And then it tells you final maturity is in the same month in 2033, but it is going to double this year when he turns 20, on or before he turns 20. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to collect all the denominations. And then I'll also share with you how you can also call and find out who owns you, who owns your children, who owns your grandparents. Everyone is owned by someone. This bond number here, which is also called a serial number, those are the numbers that are floating around or going around in a circle on Wall Street. So you're being traded. And so I'm pretty sure if they have bond numbers under us, our children, our parents, our grandparents, they also have life insurance. But of course, the life insurance will only pay you per state $250 of that life insurance policy. Believe me, everyone has a life insurance policy, whether you are paying for it or not. So we're going to go ahead and go through the EE bonds. I'm going to show you at the end what an EE bond is, what an I bond is, so that you'll understand, because some people have all of them and some people have just a couple, like EE bonds or I bonds, which is the case in my son's. And I'll also show you if you were born before a certain time, it's not going to pop up, and they'll tell you that that is not a correct denomination for this type of bond, and they'll tell you the year to search if you were born between, I think it was 1954 and 1980. So just as we go along, what I'm doing now is I'm searching all denominations for EE bonds for this serial number. It's called a bond serial number, which means that someone is making money off of you, your children, grandchildren, grandparents, parents. They're making money off of them. And all the information is right here. It's just right in your face. I mean, if you don't get it after you watch this video, then something's wrong. Okay, so this one here, I started with I bonds, and I wanted to find out, did they do a $10 denomination, which they did not. It tells you at the top the reason why they did it is because they didn't do I bonds for the year that he was born, which is in 2003, and it tells you they stopped doing those in 1980. So as you can see, the errors up here, and this is the reason why I did this, so you're not confused. You want to search all of the denominations. They go from $10 all the way to $10,000. So as a collective, it'll show you the total price of those bonds. In this case, Fisher Price owns my son. I already called to find out. The total value, it gives you the total interest, how much it's made over the past almost 20 years he's been alive. And then it shows you the maturity date is when they can actually take this money and actually use it, or use it to trade on, or whatever they're going to do with it. So that's why I blew this up. But I'm going to go back and finish. I just wanted to show you what you're looking at. And it also gives you the interest rate that it's trading on, and it gives you the total value as of today. So once we finish, you guys are going to see that my son has a total of 16 bonds, or 16 accounts rather. Now I had to erase this one because I didn't mean to do another EE bond. We're just doing I bonds now. In his case, he doesn't have the E bonds or the savings bonds because either the year is past. I'm pretty sure it's because the year is past, right? Because he was born in 2003. So we're going to go through and do all the denominations. While you're clicking, make sure that you are clicking. You're going to put the same issue date. This was in July of 2003. You don't have to put the birth date. You just put the month and the year that he was born. You're going to put the same bond number here, and then you just change it to the denominations to find out how much was actually, pretty much how much his head is worth to them. And there is a way that you can get access to this credit. It won't be in cash, but it will be credit, and you'll be able to use it to pay your bills or pay your houses out. Depends on how much you have there. Now his, when we finish in July of this year, he is going to be close to 100,000, and that means it's going to double. Okay, so it's just 14 of, yes, so we have two more to get of the I bonds. Okay, so that means it says here in, and I'll show you in just a second, that it will double, almost double in value over a 20-year period. So after the 20-year period gets here, which will be this July of 2023, excuse me. And you can check it every month to see how much it's grown, because it keeps giving you the next accrual date. So right now we're in April. If I wanted to check it in April, May, June, and then in July, they're all going to have different, because it actually grows. And this interest rate was 9 point something in February, but I see it's fallen. So, but they're still making money. And Fisher Price does own this bond. Kind of messed up when you don't know certain information, because, when he was younger, I was buying him Fisher Price toys. Oh my God, this is crazy. When they told me on the phone Fisher Price owns this bond, I was just blown. Okay, so the total price, $25,360.50. The total value of this right now currently is $46,000. It's going to double in July of this year. It tells you that information right here. They're not hiding anything. They never have hid anything. You just didn't know how to find out. Now you do. And I would suggest you check everyone in your household, that you share this so everyone can know there's no recession, there's no depression, nothing like that. Because if there was, then you have to ask yourself, a depression and a recession for who? Because we definitely know it's not for the country. Gas prices are going up, and they're still building gas stations, opening up all kind of malls and stores and restaurants. And so there's a depression or recession for who? And then on top of that, they're using this money or this credit that they did pay into, but it's illegal because neither the child or the parent knew. So this is illegal. Totally illegal. And they know it. So what we're going to do, let me see what I'm going to. Okay, so I think I'm showing you here the year. So they stopped doing the e-bonds in 1980. I wanted to show you that because if you go to the e-bonds, they stopped doing it in 1980. So anytime after 1980, you pretty much don't have to search um, those bonds. I personally did anyway because I don't trust them. And I wanted to see if they had any denominations in an I-bond. I mean, an e-bond or the savings bond. So he doesn't have any. However, understand there's also a way that you can find out who owns you and what your birth certificate bond is worth. There's also a different number on the bottom of the birth certificate that you can plug in, and you can find out how much that you're owned off of that. Okay, so redemption date, and which means they can redeem this money in 2033, the 7th month of 2033. Wait, results for redemption date. That says 3 of 2023. Right, but they can that I'm pretty sure they're going to leave this here to a maturity date, which is in 2033, 7th month, because then it'll go from almost 100,000 to even more, depending on how the market fluctuates. But yeah, so we are all owned. And if you don't have your birth certificate or your social security card, you need to get it. You need to get it. And to start off, you have to authenticate your birth certificate, which I am in the process of doing. Okay. So we're going to continue to, because I wanted you all to also understand what the bonds mean. I'm going to show you what the EE bonds mean, and then you can go and search the E, the I, and the savings. And I personally would recommend that you do all of them. I would do that. And if you get an error, then just go to the next one. So here, I wanted to show you. No, not that one. Okay, so what is an EE bond? The series EE bond, often refers to as a Patriot bond, is a non-marketable interest-bearing U.S. government savings bond. These bonds are guaranteed to at least double in value over the typical 20-year term. So initially it was called a Patriot bond, so now they just call them Series EE bond, Series EE bond. So you can go and search the I bond, the savings bond, and the E bonds. Then I would recommend that you print this out or save it to your desktop or laptop so that you have a copy of it. And then you'll be able to see how it's growing. I mean, you can watch it until you're ready to actually pursue obtaining ownership of this. So again, it'll allow you to click it and to save it. The reason why they're allowing you to do this is because they have to. It actually belongs to you or your child or your mother or whoever. So in order, they'll try